Hey YouTube, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Trucker Richie Rich, back on these ones and twos. I hope we're making dollars out here. I hope we're not making no sense. What's going on, everybody? About a week or two ago, this video is titled "The Future of Trucking," and I think everybody needs to wake up and pay attention what's going on with this industry. You know, I have some cause for concern. And the reason I have cause for concern is because things I've been seeing in this industry. I think that we are probably in the end of days of trucking, to be honest with you. Now, some people might think, well, Rich, what are you talking about? What do you mean that the end of trucking is coming? Well, I'm noticing that these companies are really looking into autonomous trucking, self-driving trucking. I remember a couple years ago, I was watching Wolverine, the movie, and it's a part of the movie where Wolverine and Professor X get ran off the road, and they get ran off the road by a autonomous truck. And I looked at it and I said to myself, that could really happen. And I remember when I got in the industry years ago, there were talks about it. They were like, pretty soon we're going to have hydrogen trucks that run on hydrogen. We're going to have electric trucks run on electric. And now they're really pushing for this autonomous truck thing. See, this infrastructure bill that came out, a lot of times when they mention things about trucking, truckers get worried and concerned because they're always changing something. I remember when I came in the industry, they changed the log books. I remember there was a time where drivers used to have 2, 3, and 4 log books in their truck. They were running so illegal, and there were so many countless stories about guys. I remember one in particular up in there on I-80 in Chicago, where a guy was driving. When they audited his books, they realized he was driving for a week nonstop, which I don't know how he did it personally, but they used to do it. And what happened with him is he drove into the toll plaza and he killed a toll plaza worker. And he went to jail for murder apparently, but after they got done auditing his books, they said that he never stopped. It looks like he drove cross country and never took a break. And you know what? That was very true back in the day. And so that's why they start coming out with these things here. Here, let me point to you guys so I can turn around. They start coming out with these things here about 10 years ago. They was putting in every truck in. Finally, in like 2018, they passed a law or 2017 or 18, they passed a law where you had to have one of these in your truck. If you didn't have one of those things in your truck, you were subject to a fine. You were subject to a fine and possibly imprisonment. Now, I don't know anybody who went to prison, but I'm sure a lot of people got fined and a lot of trucks got towed. I'm sure they did. But, that was a change in trucking. Now, the next change in trucking came where our 34 reset. If you guys can remember, years ago, when we took our 34 reset, we had to do from 5 a.m. We had to have 2 5 a.m. periods in that 34-hour reset. Now, what happened was, if you stopped at 6 a.m. and tried to do a reset, you would end up sitting 3 days because you had to have a 5 a.m. rest period in your break. Finally, that law was around for about a year or two, and then that changed. They said that doesn't make sense. The trucking industry lobbied, and they won. And that was a change. Now, the next change I see here, and I really see them going to autonomous trucking. I see it. I can see it. If you look here, let me turn the camera around. Right now I'm in Florida, but I don't want you to pay attention to the trucks I'm actually looking at. Look behind there. That's a brand new warehouse facility. You see it? It's big, massive warehouse facility. Well, I'm noticing throughout the country, right, that they're building these massive football field, warehouses. Amazon or whoever, they're just building them, and they're building them not too far from the interstate. And you know what I can see happening? I can see them putting a unmanned truck from California on Interstate 10, just around the corner, set it for 30 miles an hour, and it only has to stop just to fuel. I mean, it can go from California to here in like 2 days, And I see that happening. I was listening to CNN tonight. Oh, no, sorry, 60 Minutes. In the 60 Minutes, people were saying that there's companies out in Florida and Arizona that are actually testing out unmanned trucks. This is going to be a game changer. This really is. I can't imagine what it'd be like 10 to 15 years from now, where there's not going to be any truck drivers, but they're going to be unmanned trucks. Now, they are going to need people to get it from wherever hub they send it to the warehouse, but I'm sure that, the money that we used to make, it's not going to be there. I'm sure it's going to be countless people unemployed. I don't know, this might be a problem, And see, that infrastructure bill that's coming along, that's going to help. And the reason that's going to help is, yes, it does go towards building new highways and bridges, but it also goes towards 5G and getting the internet infrastructure up. Once those GPS things are up, I can just see them doing it. That's why I always preach to guys, save your money, or have multiple streams of income, because it was only a matter of time before they start fixing out the trucking problem. And there's a problem in trucking. There's a couple of problems, It's one is that there's short drivers. Truthfully, nobody wants to do this. And honestly, if I wasn't settled in my life, I probably wouldn't either, just because you're away from home, and you're away from functionality. Sometimes I'm like the only person within like 30 square miles. Okay. And that's hard. It is. When I came into trucking, I was a police officer, and I was downtown DC, where, before COVID and everything, but every day it was always, hi, Mr. Bell, hi, Officer Bell this, hey, you want a donut? I mean, it was so much human interaction, there really was. And then you got to talk to people and meet people. And then when I came to trucking, that all went away, and especially with this COVID now, they have situations where, here, I'll point one out to you. And this happened to me. I was in Pittsburgh, and I went to go pick up a receiver. There's a water plant out there. I'm not going to name the water plant. But when I pulled into the facility, there was a screen there, like a check-in box. I pushed in my pickup numbers, and the lady on the speaker came over and told me, she said, listen, you're going to back your truck into this door, and the machine's going to load you. If it's dirty, the machines won't. There's something back there, they'll stop. This is an unmanned facility. And when I was like, oh my God, unmanned, what do you mean? And just what she meant, I backed into the door, robots loaded my truck, and then I was given the green light, went to process out the gate, and I talked to a machine. It spit out my paperwork. Excuse me. I had no human contact. None. It was all machine. All in timeliness. Only contact I had was the lady in the office who just confirmed my pickup numbers. And that was on a squawk box. I didn't see her at all. So, to say this is, trucking it can be hard on some folk. I mean, I was sitting inside the truck stop a minute ago, and I was listening to a guy. He was talking about some personal problems he was having at home, not being home, what I mean? And yet, trucking is a good job for those who, really want a second chance in life and to, be your own boss, but I don't see it lasting long. And this is my opinion. You guys can refute that if you want to. I don't see it lasting long like it used to, because there's so many problems in trucking. The fuel cost, the safety aspect of it. I mean, the infrastructure bill had a part of it where they wanted trucks to be governed at 65 miles an hour. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Canada does that. Canada regulates their trucks to 63 miles an hour. You can't go faster than that, or it's like fines at the wazoo. This industry is being heavily regulated and is short-staffed. It was only a matter of time before people come up with a solution. That's the great innovation of the United States. We always come up with innovations and solutions, but sometimes they hurt people, And here's another one. Because of COVID, okay, I have not seen a Term Plaza employee in the last year. I haven't seen them. All the Turnpike plazas between New York, California, Florida, Pennsylvania are unmanned. There's nobody there. You know, you just drive through the radar and you pay the ticket, or you pay when you go register your vehicle. You're going to pay it somehow, but there's nobody there. You know, times are changing. You know, times are changing. And so, you know, you got to think to yourself, you got to embrace that change, I guess. And the reason I'm making this video, really, because like about a week ago, I had a conversation with a guy. He was like, Rich, we think that this infrastructure bill is going to become the end of trucking. And at first I was like, no. You know, truckers always say that when change is happening in their industry. You know, when they changed to Qualcomm and made everybody get Qualcomms, when they changed the hours of service, when they changed the resets, it was always, oh, they're trying to change the industry. Well, you know, this time I think they really are. Okay? Because unmanned facilities and unmanned trucks, I mean, that's huge. That's huge, you know, and I think it's coming in the next 10 years. So, I don't know. I'm just making this video just to give my thoughts and sharing some of my feelings about it. You know, it would suck, but that's just the innovation of America, you know. You know, out with the old, in with the new, you know. So, anyway, guys, I'm just making a video real quick, man. I'm just sitting here thinking. I have some time. I'm down here, Florida. I love Florida and I hate Florida. I love Florida because of the weather, the Gulf, the ocean, you know, the palm trees. But man, there's no parking down here for truckers. There's none. There's like no parking at all, you know. And if you're parking somewhere, like they have a couple commercial truck stops, but they pack up very quickly. And the mom and pop ones you want to stay away from. They're extremely dangerous. You know, I was talking to a guy earlier today in Orlando. They have a truck stop there off of Orange Blossom Trail. And if you guys know about Orange Blossom Trail in Orlando, it's a prostitution city there, you know. And he said he parked there, and his company called him immediately and told him to move. And the guy was like, look, I'm just going to get my truck washed. He said, you can't even get your truck washed there. Leave now. So I hope everybody's doing good in their trucking endeavors. I'm not trying to discourage anybody from getting into this industry. I'm just telling you that you're going to experience some change in the next 10 years. You are, man. And hopefully that, you know, you adapt to that change. I mean, I'm hoping by that time, you know, I mean, because, man, when I think about the changes they made, I mean, even with the turnpike plazas in the United States, those are thousands of people who are out of jobs and that are not coming back, you know, because of a pandemic. You know what I mean? And when I think about these unmanned facilities, like if they can get a, like for instance, I was watching this 60-minute special. This truck I got here, brand new, costs about, with the APU on there, I think it was appraised for like $178,000. An unmanned truck is going for $250,000. The only good thing about the unmanned truck is that you don't have to pay the driver. You just take care of the maintenance of the truck. You know what I mean? And you save so much money. Oh, this guy's about to hit something. Holy shit. I'm looking at this guy. Oh, he's parked all kind of crazy. Oh, he's about to hit something for real. Let's see what he's doing here. He's doing a little crazy there. Yeah, there you go, brother. Fix that. He's about to smack. I'm sorry, that caught my attention there, man. You know, it's here a good accident in the truck parking lot. But I guess he got it now. If he's about to hit something. Oof. And see, that's another thing. You got drivers out here who can't drive for crap, you know. And the computer, the 60-minute special said that the computer is the safest thing ever to trucking because it can calculate and predict driver behavior and human behavior. You know, it's far more superior than a man. And I see it coming. These companies are going to switch to that soon. And I wonder who's going to be the last company to actually hire drivers. And you know how fierce the competition to become a trucker at that point will be? Man, not to mention, you know, you got to pay, what, $7-8 grand to go to trucking school? Then you need to drive for a year without accidents and being on time. You know, trucking is going to change. So anyway, guys, like, subscribe, and comment. Drop your thoughts below, what you think about what I was saying, if you think there's any truth to that. I personally think it is. I mean, I think that we're going to be looking at a situation where we might be obsolete in the next 10, 15 years. I swear, and I was hoping that we wouldn't be obsolete in at least 30 years when I'm done driving the truck. But it looks like it might be coming sooner than that. So, anyway, man, it's your boy. You take it easy. Peace.